Hello.
And welcome back, or welcome to Books and Crannies.
A book lovers podcast.
That's right. I'm Danielle.
I am Sarah.
Yeah, you are. And y'all, this week we are still in the world of The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah.
Yeah.
Chapters 12 through 20.
Yeah.
That's what we're chatting about today.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I feel like
Yes.
we need to address the elephant in the room.
Which is we've changed schedules.
We have.
Yeah.
We're no longer going to be doing weekly episodes, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're only going to do every other week.
Yeah. For episode posting. We'll
Yeah.
still have content up on YouTube and TikTok every
Mhm.
week, probably daily.
Yeah.
So you can look forward to that. But the episodes are going to be spaced out a bit more just to give us more time to be friends. And
humans.
Humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets busy.
It does.
Life is just a lot.
It is.
So,
Yeah.
But we'll see what that looks like going forward and how we feel about it.
Yeah.
And adjust if needed. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. All
I think
things
so, too.
considered.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Welcome back. But anywho, before we chat about it,
Mm-hmm.
which we also have to preface that we made this decision last week after having read this section.
Yep.
So it's been a couple weeks.
It hasn't been a whole month this time.
No. So it's more fresh, but I didn't get a chance to reread it either.
No.
So we're just gonna go and give it our best.
We're winging it.
Yeah, but before we do that, Sarah,
How are you, Danielle? I always go first. You gotta tell me.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty good. I'm all right. I'm tired. That's
I'm like, you don't
evolved.
sound convinced.
No, I'm okay. I feel like the beginning of the year has just really been kicking my ass. I don't know if it's like seasonal effective. I think I've said this last week, but like I just am feeling a little bit off.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't help with everything going on in our country and etc.
Yeah.
But all things considered, I'm okay. Although my daughter just had a stomach bug.
Yeah.
And that was brutal. Sarah just happened to be here on the day that shit really hit the fan.
Which is why we didn't record last week, because we had a child puking all day.
Oh, and so we had a weekend of just sick kid.
Mhm.
Luckily, my husband and I were pretty okay, but yeah. But I've had this week off work, so that's been nice.
That's good.
To just vibe a little.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm okay.
Well, good.
Yeah. How are you?
It's kind of same.
Yeah.
Just kind of like going through the motions right now, I feel like.
I feel that.
But, surviving.
Yeah. Doing our best to get through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been struggling to read and like getting into books and stuff. And
Yeah,
I had a
same.
relatively slow January in the way of reading.
Yeah.
Comparatively to other months, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's okay. All right, guys? We're okay.
It is.
We're going to make it out.
Yeah.
People have their times.
Yeah. And I feel like this happens to me every year.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of the year just kind of is poo.
Yeah. I feel like it's a weird holiday drop-off because those are exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're at the end of them and you're like, well, okay, back to
Now
normal.
what? Yeah.
And winter.
Yeah.
Winter really gets me.
Sun goes down at 4:00.
Hate it.
For me, I'm like, leaving work when it's dark.
Yeah.
I don't do anything before work because I'm tired all the time.
Yeah. Feel that. Feel that. Yeah, I leave when it's dark and it gets dark on my drive home.
Mhm.
So, Yep. And I have 2 kids for my job. That was a weird way to say that I nanny a kid and have my daughter. That's my job. But they nap for like a solid 70% of the day.
Yeah.
Like one of them at least is sleeping. So it's hard for us to get out and do much. But
yeah.
it's fine. So
Yeah.
we're all right.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are doing better than us.
I hope so too.
Or if you're in the same boat, we feel you.
we feel you.
And we see you.
Yeah.
And it's all okay. Woosah.
Yep.
We'll make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we talk about the book or?
Yeah, I
I
guess.
guess. The reason we're here.
I guess.
Okay. Well, last week
Yeah.
we ended when Vianne was giving Beck the
The list of all the Jews and the
homophobes.
If only.
Right? Now that's the list. I'm just kidding.
That's the list I need. Minus the Jews. I don't care about y'all.
No. Y'all live your life. All of you anti-human rights people, though, you could be on that list.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gave Beck, the freaking Nazi soldier who's belaying in her home, a list of people in the school that were the Nazis were against.
Yeah.
Including
her friend Rachel, her best friend.
Her best bud, Rachel.
Yeah.
And so for this section, well, what the heck happens? Consequences immediately.
Yeah, we jump right into all of the teachers that were on the list that she gave him being fired from the school, including Rachel.
Yep, fired and escorted out.
Yeah.
And it's also becoming winter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of snow happening. Vianne's almost out of money.
Yeah, she's real worried because she's running out of money.
Yeah, because the husband who went off to war left her like a large lump sum in their mattress, but she's running out of that, and then we'll only have her teacher wage, which obviously is not a lot because teachers don't get paid anything. Yeah. And so she's just like panicked and worried about all of that. Mm-hmm. And then this firing shit happens. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I have to tell Rachel.
I have to tell her.
I have to.
I can't live with this.
No. I just can't.
No. Ugh. And good on her.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah. Integrity.
Yeah.
And she does end up telling Rachel. And Rachel's like, God damn it. But also they would have found out eventually. Yeah. Like everyone in this town knows.
Yeah.
I'm
she's
not
like,
hiding
they
it.
already knew. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But like, you also kind of suck. Get out of my house.
But also like, I love you. But damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vianne's going through it. And Beck is still around. And he's like kind of cordial and nice and also sort of taking care of them, like gives them fish that he catches and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they have a weird, strange relationship. But meanwhile, Isabel, she's still working with her little group of rebels.
Yeah. Delivering propaganda
into mailboxes.
Yeah.
Trudging through like knee-high snows.
Yeah.
And I think on one of her outings to do so, she sees a bike and steals it.
She's like, I gotta get that.
I'm taking it. Even though, how are you driving a bike in the snow? Riding a bike in the snow.
Yeah.
I feel like I have memory of doing that one time as a child, and I immediately slipped and fell off of my bike.
Yeah.
So,
she also stole the bike from a Nazi. So, careful.
While they were eating. She's like, I'm going to take it. And she does take it.
Yeah. And someone paints it for her.
Well, she, like, takes it to the group of rebels. Uh-huh. And they're like, well, that was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'll paint it for you, but you gotta do something for me. I don't know. I think there's like a trade-off.
Okay.
But somebody ends up painting it for her.
Yeah.
So she can ride it, I guess.
In the snow.
But
she can
slipping.
barely walk through. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But as the winter progresses and things are getting worse, she's getting more and more involved in this little rubber group.
Rabbers.
Wow. Remember how I said I never mess up words? Yeah. And at one point, this
court
group,
of thrones and roses. Yeah.
For literally every episode. Yeah. But she ends up meeting up with her group for some reason. Like, somebody summons her. Normally, they, like, open the
shades or
whatever. But I feel like someone comes to get her. Unless I'm tripping. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Maybe that's a different book. But there's too much book in my brain to keep them all straight.
Oh, no.
I know. What a problem
Such
to
a problem.
have. But she meets up with them again, and they present this idea about how they need someone who can deliver a message to Paris.
To Paris.
And mind you, they're in this, like, countryside.
Yeah.
Little town.
Yeah.
Caravo or whatever. Caravo. And she's like, well, I could do it. Mm-hmm. And they're all like, can you? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, I can.
Bitches, I can.
Bitches. I can sure do that.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
I guess so. But you're also going to have to go to Paris, convince your dad to let you live with him.
Uh-huh.
And
stay there.
Be
our little messenger girl.
Be our messenger girl.
Yeah.
And so she ends up telling Vianne this, and Vianne's kind of like upset about it at first.
Well, she doesn't tell her that she's going to Paris to deliver
do all
messages.
That. No.
She's like, hey, I gotta go to Paris.
Yeah. With Beck there, because she's asking him to give her a pardon to get out of the little town.
To go take care of her dying father.
Uh-huh.
And Vianne is like, what?
Excuse me?
Is Dad okay?
Yeah. That's her excuse.
Yeah.
To get out of town.
Yeah.
And after Beck leaves, Vianne asks about it, and she's like, "Yeah, she has to lie to her sister too about their father."
Yeah.
And I feel like Van is a little upset at first, especially because Isabel's the one that like goes and gets their rations and like takes care of all of that.
No, she doesn't lie to her. She says, no, Dad's fine, but I fell in love with this guy.
Oh, so she does
and
lie
I'm
to
going
her,
out there with him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a different lie, but a lie nonetheless.
Yeah.
She at least tells her, like, no, Dad's okay.
Yeah, he's not dying, don't worry. And Vianne's like, you're really going to leave me and Sophie here alone, you fucking bitch?
And she's like, just stay away from Beck, man. Just stay away from him. And Vianne's like, all right, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? But Vianne, as Isabel departs, is again getting like food and shit from Beck. Like he tells her, you guys won't starve over this winter. Like I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So do we want to talk about Isabel or Vianne first? Vianne's is probably shorter.
Yeah, let's talk about Vianne first.
So after Isabel leaves.
Yeah.
Vianne is struggling.
Yeah.
Goes back to work another day. And more teachers are being taken.
Yeah. And she tries to stand up for them.
Yeah.
And gets herself fired.
Yeah. After having asked Beck about Rachel, like if he could do anything about her. And somebody's like, you don't ask Nazis anything.
Yeah.
Like you can't ask them favors.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. Meanwhile, all of the, like there's a bunch of postings all over town about people who have been executed for XYZ.
Yeah.
Like it gives the reason for it and whatever. And all of the shop owners and stuff, like there's been changes in family-run businesses because they were run by Jewish families or communists or whatever.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank. And she's noticing the changes and is like, what is happening? This is crazy. Holy crap.
Holy crap.
Holy
We're
crap.
Screwed.
Yeah. Big screwed energy. And at one point, Beck, during all of this, gives her a letter from her husband, who is a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
But alive.
Yeah.
He's in one of the Nazis' camps.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, baby, I love you.
I love you.
I
I'm
promise
alive.
I'm going to come home soon.
Promise. But if we know anything about German camps, Nazi German camps,
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
No.
But he's like, can you like send me some gloves? Because it's really freaking cold out here. As her and Sophie are wearing everything they possibly can to try to stay warm.
Yeah.
And it's rough. And Beck ends up leaving for a few weeks or something.
Yeah, he's like gone for a while.
Yeah. And during that time, they're scraping by, trying to make it work. And it's just, not happening.
Yeah.
But he does come back eventually, maybe with that letter. Who knows? But he's in and out, and he's like feeding them and stuff and trying to take care of them. And it's a weird relationship that they have.
Yeah. I know that like when he comes back, Vianne had taken Sophie to church to like try to get warm.
Yeah.
And then on their way back, she collapses.
Yeah, once they
she's
reach
starving
the house,
and frozen.
She's been giving Sophie all their food. So she is malnourished and cold and, you know, sick.
Yeah.
She ends up collapsing. Beck brings her in the house and Rachel ends up showing up because best friend. And Rachel's like, you need to eat, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Eat this freaking food. And they sort of nurse her back to health.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, Sarah, Rachel's daughter, comes asking for Vianne and is like, you need to come help. Something's wrong with my mom. And so
they run over.
And Rachel's like, we have to start wearing these armbands with a star on them to show that we are Jewish.
Yeah.
And she's really torn up by this, which fair.
Yeah, fair.
And
sweet Sophie is like, well, I'll wear one with you too.
I know. And her mom's like, no, honey, that's like not how it works.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And that Vianne section was actually the end of this section.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
The end. Okay, bye. See you next week.
Never mind Isabel. And that has only been 10 minutes. But then Isabel's side of things is hella interesting.
It's so fun. Fun is not the right word to describe this
not
book.
Particularly.
But there was a lot of action in this section.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So Isabel ends up traveling to Paris.
Yeah.
As she had planned. And gets there and has to convince her dad to let him live with her.
Yeah.
Nope, the other way around. Her live with him.
Yep. Before she goes to the house, though, she goes to his bookstore, thinking that's where he's going to be because it's where he always is.
Yeah.
And the bookstore shut down.
It shut down.
Yeah.
Shut down.
Yeah.
And so she gets to the house and she's like, what the heck, Dad? Well, hi, first, what's up?
Yeah.
Second, I'm staying and I'm not taking no for an answer.
So get over it, Pops.
And third, what the fuck? Bookshop.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, fine, fuck you. I guess you're staying here.
I guess.
But you need to get a job.
Yeah. And he tells her that he closed the bookshop because he wasn't going to sell books that he was told to sell. Like, he wanted to be able to sell what he wants.
Right. Whatever he wanted.
And the Nazis wouldn't let him.
They were cracking down hard on what sort of content could be sold.
Mm-hmm.
And, and he's like all sorts of pissed and said that he got a new job working with I think the French government that's controlled by Nazis, I'm pretty sure is what he says.
Okay.
So she thinks he's working with Nazis and he's like friendly with them and etc. But their living quarters are super tense and weird. Like, he barely talks to her and tries to avoid her at all costs.
Yeah.
And she says something about like how she wants to open up the bookstore as a job, and he's like, "Oh, absolutely,
hell no,
not doing that."
And she's like, "Actually, I am." So
yeah, I'm doing it.
Get over it.
And so she goes on her first little mission, and she was told to go to this certain area, this certain bench, and say like a code phrase, like, "Do you think I'll need an umbrella today?" or something. Yeah. And the other person's like, "The weather seems fine.
It's nice and sunny today. I don't think you'll need that umbrella."
Something like that. And she passes on her message.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know the series of events, but she starts cleaning up the bookshop. Dad's kind of pissed about that. And then she gets summoned to meet with this Free French, this group of people who are working to free France. Yeah. That she gave a message to. Yeah. And they take to her pretty quickly. You tapped my knee with your knee.
I did. And then I tapped her knee with my hand.
Wow. So many taps.
Knee taps.
But she ends up meeting with these people.
Yeah.
And they take to her pretty quickly. Yeah. They like her. Like, they're not like, "Ew, no."
Ew.
Ew. Disgusting. Yeah. And she
does a pretty good job at like holding her own in conversations that she has with them.
Yeah, she's definitely grown super confident and like feels capable. Like, she knows she can do whatever they ask of her. Yeah. And she tells them that the bookstore can like be a front where they can come drop messages for her, like missions and things. And she ends up starting to travel all over France, like delivering messages to people who are a part of the resistance.
Yeah. Way to go, Isabel.
Heck yeah. Izzy. No.
Stop.
Sorry.
Oh.
And then and then one day, when she's meeting with her homeboys, one of them brings in a downed British pilot. Yeah. Who they saved off the streets. Like, apparently this is happening a lot. Like,
apparently,
enemy pilots, enemy to the Nazi Germans. Yeah. Pilots are being abandoned in France and other locations, and would obviously be executed if given the chance.
Yeah, because they're like bomb flyers.
Like, their planes were taken down.
Nazis.
Yeah, but they survived, so they're like straddling. Yeah. And one of the people in the resistance group brings one of the pilots in, and she learns that they're like making an effort to try to get these people back either to Britain or to somewhere safe. And they don't have any like solid plan, but they're really trying to figure something out to save them, which is cool and awesome. Yeah. Cool and awesome.
Great.
And so she carries on doing her job, delivering messages, working at the bookstore. Yeah. And then one night.
Yeah. She's walking home.
Yeah.
And sees a man in a bush. And she's like, "What the hoodly heck?
What the heck and hoots?"
Goes up to him and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's got a freaking flight uniform on.
He's a pilot.
He's a freaking British pilot.
The downed pilots. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, shit, doggy. I better help this guy. Yeah. I don't know how the heck I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it." Yeah. And she ends up like racing him back to her dad and her's apartment. And like, she has a weird hidey hole behind her closet or something.
It's like behind a bookshelf.
Yeah.
It's like a random hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
Why was that there?
Who? Did you dig it? What's happening? What is this hole? She puts him in there.
She does. And puts the bookshelf back.
Yeah. She's and like gets him a change of clothes and some food and stuff.
And a pot to piss in.
Yeah. And stows him away in the hole. And then she leaves to go chat with this group of people, I think.
Maybe. Or maybe she's just going to work.
I think she goes to the Free French and is like, "Hey, I found a pilot. What can we do about it?"
I thought that she just showed up with him because she like makes him cover his eyes and then is like, get the fuck in there now.
Yeah, I don't know why she leaves him in the hole and leaves and comes back. I don't remember what whatever. She comes back.
Yeah.
And her dad is there, so she has to like wait for him to go to sleep to take the pilot from the house and bring him.
Well, no, she takes him the next day when her dad goes to work.
Okay, yeah. She waits till he goes to sleep to talk to him, maybe to be like, here's the plan.
Yeah.
And then the next morning takes Pilot out and brings him to this safe house or whatever that they have.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck, bro? And she's like, well, you guys did it.
We got to save the pilot.
We got to save him. I'm just like doing what you did. Come on. And they're like, oh, man, what are we supposed to do with this guy? Like, we don't have plans really in place. And she's like, they mentioned something about like there is an effort. We want to try to get them to Spain, but that entails climbing the Pyrenees Mountains and like all of these things, and it's
getting
really
through
dangerous
the Nazis at the freaking border.
Yeah, there's lots of hoops to jump through for that to be possible. And she's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you, a young girl, you're gonna climb the Pyrenees and like lead men to Spain? And she's like, yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
And she doesn't back down, and she's super confident in it. And as they're like trying to decide if this is something that'll work, who the fuck shows up, Sarah?
Freaking Gate. Freaking Gaten.
He's here. This guy who ditched her before.
Yeah, he comes out and he's like, hey, baby.
Hey, what's up, girl?
You
Except
remember
he's
me?
weird and aloof.
Yeah.
And he agrees to this plan. She's obviously shocked that he's there. Like, he's a big wig in this weird resistance thing going on.
Yeah.
And so they end up, it's going to take several weeks to plan, but we'll make it happen.
Doesn't it come out, too, that it was, like, his idea for her to come to Paris? Like, he was the mastermind behind that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew the guys she was working with in Carabo and, like, put in a good word with Paul or whatever, Henry, whoever's in Paris that she's working with, to get her there. He was keeping tabs on her after having abandoned her. So, manipulative as fuck. Who do you think you are, Gate?
Ugh.
Oh, but she ends up going home then after that.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's like plans in place, or there will be. And her dad's like, hey,
why'd you have a friggin' pilot in your closet?
Why? Yeah.
Who was in your hidey hole?
Who was pissing in your hole? No. Who was pissing in your hidey hole? That's not better.
It's not any better. Oh, Lordy.
And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine. He's like, it was a pilot. And she's like, what?
What?
No.
He's like, doubt it. I would never.
No. And he's like, so you know that I'm really good friends with the guy that you work for? And she's like, what? And they're in connects and they're in cahoots.
Yeah.
And
it turns out her dad is the one who like forged her papers to give her a new identity to like be able to deliver messages from city to city.
Yeah. He's a forger for the group. And she's like, well, what the hell, Dad? I feel like you failed to mention this. I guess if, like, she's not supposed to know he's doing his thing, he's not supposed to know, I guess. They run into each other maybe eventually.
Yeah.
But it's all in the out now. Dad's like, good for you, girl.
Yeah.
Like, he's proud of her to some extent. And he has a connect at the Pyrenees passing or whatever.
Yeah. That'll, like, help her navigate through the mountains.
Be their guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they start prepping all this crap. And meanwhile, Gate is like following her.
Yeah.
And like being creepy, but not really saying much.
Yeah.
Like anytime they start talking, he doesn't want to get deep at all. But he's also like, you're aloof. Beautiful, but then like leaves.
Yeah.
Mid conversation. Like,
I love you. Bye.
Yeah. He's weird as hell. And she's like, yeah, okay, Gate. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But then the plan is ready and set.
Yeah.
And so Isabel, under a different name, obviously.
And 4 pilots.
Start
board a train.
And
they go on their merry way.
She's warned prior to leaving that, like, there's a very good chance you're going to have to go underground after this.
Yeah.
And, like, completely disappear because
you can't come back here.
Somebody's going to find out and they're going to be pissed.
Yeah, her dad is like, after you do this, like, you can't live with me anymore. You're going to have to get the fuck out.
Right. Yeah. They assume that she's going to be found out immediately and, like, need to go underground. But they board the train. There's tons of Germans, but they have like a whole plan in action where she's like, as soon as you get on the plane to the train, you need to just start reading a newspaper, like be very inconspicuous and, you know, not draw any attention to yourself.
Yeah. And like you and the pilots can't make eye contact. No one can know that you know each other.
Yeah. Can't look at me.
Yeah.
Nobody can know that we know each other. Yeah. At all.
They tell the pilots, like, if someone tries to talk to you, just act like you're deaf and start, like...
or, like, incompetent. Something. Yeah. But they end up making it to their desired point via train. There's no mishap there. And they all, like, meet up at the end of it as quietly as they can without drawing too much attention and go and find this connective her father's. And when they get there, the woman is very standoffish and, like, acts like Isabel's a threat. And she's like, yeah, I don't know, you're suspicious as hell, like, what the heck? And trying to grill her with questions. All the while, Isabel's, like, sticking to her guns. And some guy comes in and he asks about the story. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, even though she had just told the woman. And they're both like, oh, okay, well, you're in.
You're good. You're not going to just tell some random person what's going on, so I guess you're cool.
So I guess you're cool. You won't tell the world that we're helping pilots cross the Pyrenees.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm Eduardo, I'll be taking you. And so they all get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And some food, perhaps.
Probably.
And pack up. Get all their supplies.
Yeah.
And the guy that's leading them tries to give them, like, special shoes to climb these mountains.
Yeah.
But they
don't fit anybody.
Yeah. I'm like, I think Isabel's are the only that are, like, her size.
Yeah.
And they leave in the early morning, like dark still.
Yeah.
Probably 4 a.m. vibes.
Yeah.
And start trekking. And this is not like a casual climb.
No, it's not a leisurely hike.
No, they are scaling mountains.
Yeah.
And
in a blizzard.
And none of them is well enough insulated.
Yeah.
Their shoes are all trash. Her feet are covered in blisters.
Frostbite, I would imagine.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's treacherous as hell. No, thank you. Ugh. But also, like, holy shit. People were doing that.
Yeah.
And Isabel's trying to, like, keep up morale because the pilots are definitely struggling. One of them specifically is like, I just want to stop. Like, tell my family I love them and all that stuff. And she's like, no, bro. Like,
keep going, dude.
Rallies him.
Yeah.
And they all end up.
She's like the group cheerleader.
She is. Like, her job is to make sure these pilots get there.
Yeah.
Which is a huge undertaking for this, like, young woman. She's only, like, 19 still. She's young.
She's a badass.
And she's freaking undercover co-op and weird-ass missions. But they end up making it to their destination and send the pilots with another connect that they have on the border of Spain to, like, take them to safety.
Yeah. And we gotta talk about how they get across the freaking bridge when they get there, because there's, like, searchlights and shit and Nazis everywhere.
Yeah.
They gotta, like, tuck and roll across the bridge
one at a time.
Yeah.
In between searchlights, like floodlights. Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta time it just right.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna get caught. And no one gets caught.
Nobody gets caught. Guys. They all make it through.
Good job.
They find the lady who's gonna help them. Alma, I think, is her name.
Okay.
And she saves these pilots.
Yeah.
And she then is able to travel home with no issue. Which is wild.
I know.
Holy shit, Isabel.
I love her.
I know. She makes it back.
Yeah.
She makes it back. And the letter or the missive that she sends to her boss in this resistance that's, like, confirms that it was okay was what the Nightingale sings or something.
Flies or
sings
that,
or who knows. Some sort of Nightingale reference.
Yeah.
Because their last name means Nightingale. I don't know if we've ever said that before, but Rossignol means Nightingale. I don't think we
ever did.
Yeah. Anyway, she makes it back. All safe and sound.
Yeah.
And also, guys, we could just finish Isabel. Never mind. But she makes it back.
Okay.
I think she has another conversation with Gayton. What's his name?
Gate.
Is Gayton another character? Who's in Beauty and the Beast? The guy who's a wiener? Is it Gayton? Gayton? Doesn't matter.
I don't. Oh, that guy. What is his name? I was like, who's a dick in Beauty and the Beast? As if I've never seen the movie before. What is his name?
I don't know. I feel like it's Gaston.
I gotta look it up now.
Okay. Momentary pause.
Gaston.
I was pretty close.
You were pretty close.
Pretty close. Anywho. Not that mattered at all, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. But she makes it back safe and sound. I think she has another interaction with Gate, and it's still like weird.
Yeah, he's awkward.
He's strange. But then she ends up going to this safe house that they're now sending pilots. Mm-hmm. And I think she meets with another group of them and is like readying for another mission or something.
Yeah.
Come the end of this section.
Ready to do it all over again. Climb those mountains.
Yeah.
Climb those mountains.
Climb those singular mountains. Yeah. And also, though, y'all, minus all of that, there was a little chapter.
Oh, yeah.
In the midst of all of this.
Yeah.
From the old lady from the beginning.
From the beginning. Back to, like, present day.
Yeah. Who we are very certain is Isabel.
Absolutely after this chapter.
Come on. She is being moved into an old person's home with her son. He's moving her in.
He's helping her.
And she gets a letter.
Inviting her to this event.
Yeah.
For people who helped people.
Passeurs or whatever.
Yeah.
The people who were helping people.
Yeah.
Out of France.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Whoa. And she's like, man, nobody knows who I really am. This is crazy. Should I go? This old woman. Yeah.
So do you think that the ID or whatever that the son found and he was like, I have no idea who this is, was for Isabel? Or do you think that it's her, like, secret name? Do you think that she's still living as her what is the fucking word I'm looking for? Alias. Or do you think she's living as Isabel?
She's living as Isabel, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty certain the first chapter it said the name that was on the ID, and it was like Gervais or something was the last name. Oh. So I'm pretty sure she is Isabel in her day, but I don't know. I haven't confirmed.
Oh, wow.
They haven't dropped her name in those chapters.
Wow.
Those 2 chapters.
Watch it not be her at all.
No, it's someone completely different.
It's Vianne.
No, but it's getting very interesting.
Or maybe it's Sophie.
Maybe. Pass the legacy on. Maybe it's Sophie and that's like her mom's ID or something. Wait, what? Why is Sophie involved? I got so confused just now. I'm enjoying it so far. It's very interesting.
I am too. I love Kristin Hannah's writing. It's so easy to read.
Yeah, it's very easy to read. I do feel like this one, thus far, is like less good than the women.
I just feel like it's a lot slower. Like
it's a lot slower. I feel like the writing isn't as like crisp as the women. It's older. It might be one of her first books. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I don't know. It's good so far.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm definitely excited to get to like the meat of it.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of shit's happened, but yeah.
Yeah.
To see what really like Isabel's legacy is, you know what I mean? Because she's going to be a boss.
Yeah, she is.
She already did a boss ass bitch thing.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty good.
Me too.
Yeah. How are you guys feeling about it so far?
So far. I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Gate is like being weird because he is in love with Isabel, or do you think he's being weird because he's sketchy?
I don't want him to be sketchy.
I don't either.
But I also don't think I like him.
I don't either.
Like,
I get the ick from him a little bit.
He's
like I get a vibe.
Pretentious as shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe he's in love with her.
Yeah. The skeptical part of me is like, is he gonna fucking turn on them and
maybe
end up being a bad guy
in prison?
Yeah, he's a freaking criminal.
She met him at a random campfire
after he was released from prison.
He might be sketchy, Sarah.
He might be.
It might be a sketchy story. Oh. I don't know.
I don't know either.
He's like rubbing me the wrong way.
I'm interested.
I don't know if I care
where
about
that
him
goes
anymore. She hasn't made me care about him because he's like just being kind of a weird, elusive dick.
Yeah, and maybe that's intentional.
Yeah, it's going to be like, whoa, surprise, something weird and big happens.
Yeah.
Either he like professes his love grandly.
He is a Nazi.
Or like sacrifices himself for her somehow. Or he's a Nazi German for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And I am like preemptively so sad for Rachel.
I know.
I feel like something's going to be terrible there.
Yeah.
And then VN by extension, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, like, the Beck situation is sketchy. Like, he makes
out
himself
to be... I get
really,
like, ick from him, too, but also, like, is he a good guy?
Yeah. Like, he makes himself out to be this family man who, you know, wants to help them if he can, and that he always is like, I didn't know about it. And I'm like, I don't know.
Are you really
if that's
naive?
true?
Yeah, I don't.
Right. I feel like Beck's going to do something terrible.
Yeah. Maybe
like,
Beck is going to be the one that kills Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Either he's ordered to, or like it was the shtick the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just get weird vibes from him too.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible times. It's terrible times. Terrible times.
Yeah. Yep.
I know. I like so much of me was about to be like, I can't imagine living through that. Like, you know what I mean? Which still rings true.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. This book is just hitting kind of close to home right now. I feel like, I mean, knock on wood.
Yeah.
You know?
Not that what we were going through right now is anything like what they're going through.
We are not trying to equate it. I just imagine, you know, there's a million steps before.
Yeah. But the future
Nazi
is
Germans.
scary right now.
Sure is, yeah. But it's very interesting. World War II is fascinating. I just don't want to live through it.
Same.
Yeah. So next week, we're carrying on. Chapters, obviously. We can't just leave it halfway done.
We're done now, so... next week we're going to be reading Aragon.
You took me aback for a second. I thought we'd moved on from the bit. You said no. We have questions about Aragon, friends. But that's beside the point. We're reading chapters 21 through 30.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
Great. So you should read along with us.
Absolutely.
So we can chat about it and have some fun.
Also, it's not next week.
Oh, 2 weeks from now.
In 2 weeks.
We aren't even ready. We aren't even used to it yet.
I know. It's going to be weird.
I know.
Next episode.
Yeah.
We'll just go with that.
It's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try to perfect that ending, friendos.
Yeah, we've been evolving lately.
Yeah.
For better
or
worse.
devolving, Either way.
Yeah. But read the next section with us.
Please.
Chapters 21 through 30 again.
Yeah.
And come hang out.
Please.
In a couple weeks.
Do it.
Yeah.
Well, Danielle, what else have you been reading? What did you finish this week? Tell me all of it.
Well, I finished listening to Harry Potter the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. Gave it 5 stars.
Yeah.
Because obviously.
Uh-huh.
I also finished reading The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn series. And I gave it a 5 star.
Wow.
It's very good. And then I started reading To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini, Aragon's author. And I'm only 11% of the way in. I am listening to it.
Yeah.
It's sci-fi vibes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm also reading Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I'm only like 57 pages in.
Yeah.
This is book club book, and it's weird so far. I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah.
Well, great.
What about you?
Well.
And together.
Oh.
We're reading Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
By Rebecca Yarros.
We've read 306 pages.
Sure have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Danielle. I finished reading The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer Armentrout.
Heck yeah.
That's the 3rd book in the Blood and Ash series, y'all. You have to read it.
Yeah.
I gave that one 5 stars.
Shoot, yeah.
And then I finished reading Nocticadia by Carrie Lake, and I gave that 4 stars.
Okay.
I read The Martian by Andy Weir, and I gave that 5 stars.
Hell yes.
And I listened to all of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I really have to say that slow because if I don't, it comes out Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Dungeon Crawler Carl. I could see it.
Yeah. Dungeon Crawler Carl is what I always try to say. Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman, and I gave that 5 stars.
Yeah.
And then I just started listening to The Lake of Lost Girls by Catherine Green, and I've only listened to 5%, so I can't even say anything about I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of in the same position with both my current reads.
Yeah.
Outside of Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to hear our reviews for those books or hear us talk more about any of them, then go to our YouTube channel and check out our check-ins.
Yeah. Or you can find individual reviews on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go to TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube and follow us.
Yeah.
The handle is at Books and Crannies Podcast for all of them.
Yes.
So, yeah, go check all of that out, guys.
And when this episode comes out, there should be an active book away happening on our TikTok. So go enter that if you want a chance to win.
Oh my god.
4 books off of your Amazon wish list.
4 of them, because we hit 4,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
So definitely go check it out and give us a follow and like and engagement and all of the things that people do on the internet.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'd really appreciate it.
Hit the notification bell if you're listening on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you're listening on a podcast platform, please give us a review.
Please.
It would help us out tremendously.
Yeah.
And share it with your friends. If you like our podcast, go tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
Please.
And then listen with your friends.
Yeah.
But you all have to play it on the same device so we get those listens.
Yeah.
Because we pay so much attention to that.
Yeah, we really are doing this for all of our large scale followers.
Yeah.
And not at all because it's a hobby. But really, though, we would so much love it if you guys engaged with us and had a good time. We would love to make this more about you than just on our whim. So
yeah,
let us know what you want to see or hear or whatever.
Yeah.
And let us know what you're reading and whatever.
We
whatever
love
else.
Just friggin' go read and be happy. I love you.
Yeah, god damn it. All right, well, have a good couple weeks.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.
Okay, bye.